Hey there, travelers. Kaylee Cuoco here. Sorry to interrupt your music, great artist BT Dubs, but wouldn't you rather be there to hear it live? With Priceline, you can get out of your dreams and into your dream concert. They've got millions of travel deals to get you to that festival, gig, rave, sound bath, or sonic experience you've been dreaming of. Download the Priceline app today, and you can save up to 60% off hotels and up to 50% off flights. So don't just dream about that trip. Book it with Priceline.
Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Centuries ago, a war was fought, and Regoria was destroyed. But in a last-ditch effort, there was one elf who buried a little bit of magic.
Guarantee anyone will find it.
Let's hope someone does.
And now, one young man
Pops, what is this?
will have to end a war started long before his time.
Can't run!
Can't! His spell has taken hold. This is the last possible chance this world may have.
Echoes of Regoria, now available wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Welcome to Board Gamers Anonymous, a podcast where everyone's welcome to the table, but of course, no one knows whose turn it is. This is Chris.
This is Anthony.
This is Ian.
And this is episode 541, our friends' favorite Gen Con games from 2025. We'd like to thank all our Patreon backers for helping us unlock a brand new episode. Hey friends, welcome back, and welcome back to a great episode because this episode, even though Anthony and I Gen can't, Ian Gen can, and he did, and he's there on the episode to talk about Gen Con 2025. Welcome, Ian, to the podcast.
Hey there, happy to be here.
So, Ian, tell us a little bit about yourself and your connection to tabletop gaming.
So my name's Ian Gauger. I have been into all sorts of gaming since I was a little kid. I think it all started with Pokemon Blue, which led into a Pokemon card habit.
Oh, no.
At some point in time, around the age of 10, someone at my local game store said, "Hey, would you like to try another card game?" That turned into a bad magic habit for a number of years. And then I was, off the road into the gutter on D&D, and now all sorts of board games. So, your typical story there. Broad background, I ended up starting a gaming startup, the Adventure Nexus. So we are an LFG looking for group or game app, really focused on local play interactions with game stores and gaming conventions. So it's one of my jobs these days.
Excellent. Very cool. Yeah, you'll be able to find Ian's app in the show notes. So if you're looking to put together a game convention, it's a really fantastic way to be able to lay all that stuff out, and Ian and his crew will help you out with all that process. So Ian, beyond the addiction that is Board Gamers Anonymous, as far as getting to tabletop gaming is concerned, generally, just favorite games, favorite genres. Are you out of the CCGs? Are you clean now? Can we talk to you about that? Do you need to call somebody? Is that what I'm asking? Do we need to call somebody?
Yeah, so the CCGs, the TCGs there, the most I do is Magic Arena on my phone, and I never buy anything. So yes,
Nice.
I'm clean of that habit there. Board games, though, not so much. My board game collection has steadily grown. I do a lot of role-playing games. So I had a group, we did a 6.5-year D&D campaign, and
Wow.
then we actually finished. We just came to a natural conclusion. We ran through the villains. It was fantastic. But then when we wrapped that up, it was around the time of the OGL scandal, and we were kind of like, well, what other systems exist? So we've been bouncing around to different TTRPG systems. Recently did Marvel, Marvel Heroic, and this game, His Majesty the Worm, we're playing right now. So playing around with that. But I also have some minis as well. for a time during the pandemic. I got into A Song of Ice and Fire, the miniature game, so
Sure.
I'm kind of all over the place when it comes to tabletop games.
That's cool. That's awesome. Especially if now that you're off the CCCG sauce. That's all that really
Yeah,
matters.
I've got some more money to spend on minis instead.
See, it's the methadone of tabletop gaming. So, it's like, I can't, the cards secondary market, let's do miniatures. Miniatures are just as bad, right? That's fine. It's fine.
And
it's
they take
fine.
up enough space that eventually you just have to stop.
I can only buy so many.
But then you pick a painting, which becomes a whole other thing.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't got there yet. Not yet.
No.
Come to the dark side.
We have little miniature paints. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's a lot of great stuff in tabletop gaming, and it's all very wonderful and addictive in the best way possible. So I'm really glad to have you on board here. So let's get on to the episode, my friends. Anthony, there's so much going out there in the world of tabletop gaming. Let's start talking about it. Let's get to the state of play with BGA. What's our question of the week?
All right, question of the week this week. We asked all of you a question that we circle back to about every 2 to 3 years. And I think that's a good cadence because things change about every 2 to 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
What is a game that should not be considered a gateway game? So we've had this conversation before as gamers, as academics, as parents, like all these different things, all these different layers of like, what game should you not put in front of people who've never played a game before and say, this is good for you? On the flip side, what about a modern game that should be treated as a gateway game? So we got a lot of good answers here. We'll start over on Facebook, as we often do. Maxwell says, a modern game that should be considered a gateway game, maybe Wingspan. I found it easy to learn, and I'm new to the hobby. Also, maybe Harmonies as well. Simple to learn, fun, looks great, but difficult to master.
Gotcha. I like it.
I think really any abstract could kind of fit into that category, as long as it's not too crazy.
If it's too abstract, I think you lose the thematic line that kind of helps guide people along.
Yeah.
It's just like, what are these? They're cubes. What do they do? They move. You're just like,
Right. Well, it's like Santorini. They turned it into like this stacking game into like a whole thematic thing, and now it's great for kids.
Is it though?
My kids loved it.
All right. Well, your kid's a little special for that. I'm sorry. Like, that's next level. Your kid's on the next level. It's like Boop, right?
Boop is probably a better example, yes.
Boop, it's super absolutely adorable for kids and families, and it is not a like child friendly game just because, again, like it's a little more complex abstract than you would think by looking at it.
Yeah.
So, with all the diagonal boops and all that,
there's a lot of booping going on. And we talked to our friend from Smirk and Dagger, friend Kurt, and he was like, yes, that's exactly what people need to know, because if they buy it thinking it's a kid's game and they get it home, the kid's not going to be happy with it, and the adults are not going to know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So, that's the thing.
I had the same problem with, it's not an abstract, but the same problem with Root when my daughter was very little. I want to play that game. I want to play that game. I'm like, honey, you can't play that game.
Can I play the furry little woodland creatures that do counterinsurgency on their woodland brethren? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's good. You can draw it. She's like, okay, I'll do that. All right.
The revolution will be on the tabletop. That's clearly what's happening at this point.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes.
Go back a couple of weeks. We got an episode on that.
We do.
All right, next up over on Blue Sky, the fifth Meeple Board Game Podcast replied with two options here. On the contrary to Max's post, I do not think Wingspan should be considered a gateway game. While the theme is inviting, the mechanisms for a true non-gamer are relatively complex. It's a lot to try to absorb and sequence correctly.
Yes.
I've had that same experience. I've tried to teach this game to a couple people, and they're just like, what?
I think, again, bird watchers are a very unique crowd of people, and they kind of cognitively align with tabletop gamers for their ability to focus and understand like a lot of complexities and a lot of cognitive load. I know I'm using a lot of fancy words here, but basically like bird watchers and tabletop gamers sit very still for a very long amount of time and contemplate the small bits. So I think that uniquely people thought because bird watchers could just jump into Wingspan that anybody could jump into Wingspan. But like, if you've ever played Wingspan, I mean, there's so many things going on in Wingspan, and there's so many combos that could just crush you instantly, or just not know what to do because like you have to kind of think 12 moves ahead. So it's a lot of cognitive load there.
And there's so many paths to victory, whether you want to
Yes.
go with the eggs or you're trying to get, higher bird numbers. It can be difficult.
Yeah, there's no, like, you watch other people play their habitats. You're like, you're doing eggs. Should I do eggs? Should I do, put in tucking cards? Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of different things.
I think the reason gamers find Wingspan to be quote unquote simple is because it uses a lot of design shorthand. Right?
Yeah.
Everything in that game is something that's familiar to us, having played other games. But if you haven't played those other games, it's all foreign and there's a lot of it. So I could see that being a challenge.
There's a really funny video, and I'm forgetting what actor it was. It'll come to me later in the episode.
It's Mandy Patinkin.
Thank you.
I know
and they try to introduce Wingspan to him, and he's like, "What the heck is this?"
That's great.
It's a great video. You should absolutely watch it because you could feel it. You could feel it. He was just like, "Yeah, I'm not absorbing any of this." So,
oh man, someone's about to die.
and Wingspan does have that Swift pack that you can play for first time gamers, which each of the 4 players would get like a different focus. But I also think that's still difficult because trying to get someone to understand tucking cards, it's a lot. It's a lot because you have to know percentages and things like that too.
Yeah. So the Fifth Meeple board game podcast, they also mention as their go-to gateway game, Cascadia. And it kind of hits the main points, at least for me, that make a gateway game.
Yes.
An inviting theme, actions that are relatively simple and quick to teach, with some player interaction, but not direct player interaction. So they say it's relatively simple. On your turn, take a pair and build towards these goals. You can go very simple. You can go more complex. You can try to do all the goals. You can focus on a couple. It's very straightforward and can become more complex. Same thing we were talking about with like the abstracts. Like it's got a good theme. It's a clear abstract. It gets more complex if you want it to.
Sure. Calico's like that too.
Oh yeah, Calico's great for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, a couple more answers here over on the Patreon. We have Ryan who says, actually, let's not do Ryan yet because Jill says something that Ryan responds to.
Oh no!
Sorry, Ryan, you go second.
Controversy.
So Jill says, not a gateway, 7 Wonders. Used to regularly introduce that one since mechanics are simple, short, and accommodate large groups, but the symbols are too much for newbies.
Yes.
Can attest. I didn't like this game for a while because it was too overwhelming the first couple times I played it. Jill also mentions Cascadia with the family rules, specifically for greater, newer gateway game. Family rules simplifies it even further, which is great. Ryan agrees with the comment about 7 Wonders not being a gateway. The idea of a virtual currency with a bunch of icons can be very confusing. Even something like Parks, while very light, has quite a few elements to it that may be too much for new or casual gamers. I can attest to that. I brought Parks into my classroom a couple times, and the students were like, what the actual heck is this? So I was like, it's easy. You just move a couple spots and you do a thing. And they're like, there's like 400 icons. There's tokens everywhere. The book is like 30 pages long. I'm like, oh yeah, it kind of is. So not a gateway, just light.
I would say 7 Wonders Architects, which is meant to be the easier family game, is better because you're just drawing 1 card per turn.
Right.
Yeah.
You still have to keep track of all those icons.
I guess. I mean, there's not those interactions that you do in 7 Wonders where like a card covers another card or it pays for another card or there's transfers. Like it's kind of a little more straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then Ryan says for their vote for a game that should be a modern gateway, The Quest for El Dorado.
Oh, okay.
Everyone starts with the same cards. The market is the same for everybody, and the goal is clear to race to the end. I like this pick. I've brought this one into the classroom as well, and the students always gel with this one. And they can get it done in an hour, which is great.
That's great.
For having never played a deck building game or this type of racing game, and they figure it out and they play it in an hour, it's perfect.
Yeah, racing games. We don't think about those a lot, but those are really great gateway games because they have like a clear, definitive end and like goal status.
Victory points are so abstract.
Oh.
Get points. Points for what? What do they represent? What are we talking about here?
You play a Euro...
Okay, point A to point B, get to the end. I could do that.
Yeah. You play a Euro game with somebody for like the first time they're playing a Euro game, and like it's a worker placement game, and there's all the options are open, and they choose the victory point option.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, this is the first victory. This is the first Euro game you've played. This is gonna be long for you. Like, but it's points. You say points is what wins. I'm like, yeah.
A victory in the name, guys.
Yeah. I'm doing the thing you said.
Like, it's dumb to not do that, right? It would be stupid not to do it. You're like, yeah, I guess, but no.
No, I'm sorry. I should have taught this game better.
Yes.
All right, one more here from Drew on the Patreon. They say Codenames should not be considered a gateway game. Though a decent party game, it really is a gateway into other games that build off its core mechanics.
Okay.
So it stands alone. It doesn't build into anything. I have had trouble teaching this to people as well. So.
I think it's miscast as a party game.
Okay.
Just because the person who's giving the clues is really enjoying the vast majority of the game, and then everybody else is just like waiting.
Yeah.
And then eventually they just they point towards a car.
There are a lot of people sitting in silence for long stretches of this game. That's true.
Yeah. Doesn't feel like it fits a party necessarily. Yeah. Unless it's a library party, like cat food. And then
you know what it was really good for is during the pandemic, I ran online game days for my grad class.
Yeah.
And we did Codenames online, and that was perfect because you could have a conversation to the side, and everything's kind of virtual, so you don't have to like be super quiet because you can't see each other's stuff.
You could do you could do something else.
So it was like a social experience online, which is ironic. So, all right, one more here. Drew nominates Fellowship of the Ring, the trick-taking game, as a wonderful gateway. Builds off of card-based games new players may be familiar with and shows how games can tell a story and be cooperative. I like any game that builds mechanically. Like, here's a really simple mechanic. You did that. Okay, now here's level 2. Now here's level 3. Now here's level 4. Magic Maze does that really well. The game with the cats on the robots. What's that called? The vacuum cleaner game.
Cats with the robots and the vacuum cleaners?
It's a programming game, and it's completely. I can't think of it right now. Doesn't matter.
You like cat games, man. I just can't go there.
It's not even a cat game. It's a robot game, but it has a cat in it.
Okay.
But the whole idea, like, a base core game, and this works best in co-ops, but then you build on it over time. Like, here's one mechanic. Do you get it? Great. Here's 2 mechanics. Let's go.
Yeah, I reviewed a game last year. It was Muppet Christmas Carol, and basically it plays one mechanic at a time, so each of the spirits come out in order. So it's like, you do the Scrooge thing, and then you do the first Christmas past and Christmas present, Christmas future, but you have time to do each of those. And that's such an interesting way to teach a game. Like, it builds. It's like a video game, right? Like a walkthrough.
Yeah, people are used to it. It's easy. You don't have to wrap your head around too much. Yeah, I think it's a good way to do it.
Nice.
And
all right.
That's everybody. So thank you, everybody who wrote in.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. Again, hit us up on all social medias, because the question of the week is a wonderful opportunity to connect with the community and let everybody know what games you're playing out there. So hopefully you can get more people to the table. And again, patreon.com, where you can answer the question of the week first and foremost, and obviously get access to all the content that we put up there that we can't say here because, it's a gateway podcast and not the deep, dark stuff that we don't talk about openly. All right, everybody, let's get on to the episode. Let's roll for preview. Anthony, what do you want everyone to know about this week?
All right. So I want to talk about a release that I feel like would have been at Gen Con if all the chaos of the world wasn't happening. Because it is coming out at the end of October, and it's coming from Fantasy Flight. This is the second big expansion for Twilight Imperium 4th Edition, Thunder's Edge.
Ooh, sounds interesting. Since it's in space and it's thunder?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I guess so.
We have lightning trains, so I guess this makes sense, right?
Well, Thunder's Edge in this case is a planet.
All right.
Yeah, it's at the edge of the thunder. I don't know. So this is the second big expansion. The game came out back in 2017, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a big expansion in 2020. Terrible timing. Prophecy of Kings, very good expansion though. And now we get a second one. And for reference, like TI3, I think had 3 big expansions over its lifespan. So this is not a new thing to have this much new content. But it is adding a bunch of cool stuff. So having been playing this game a little bit more this year, I got 2-3 plays in the last 12 months, which is a lot for me. It's really kind of cool to be able to look at this and say, okay, this is going to add here, this is going to change this. The big thing in the expansion, there's a bunch of stuff. We'll just run it off. But the big one that it's named after is the Thunder's Edge expedition. So the whole idea here is that everybody's kind of going out to kind of try to discover this hidden planet. there are 6 different slices where you can go and perform an expedition. And so you have to pay some resources or have accomplished something to do that. From the looks of it, you should be able to do that by the end of the first round, maybe the beginning of the second round. It's not something you would do late. It's early. But when you do, you get a breakthrough, which is this powerful faction-specific ability that's related to Thunder's Edge. So you get to do cool stuff, right? Which I'm not going to run through all the cool stuff because there are now going to be something like 30 different factions, and that's just too many to keep track of. But based on how many people do the expeditions, you also can control the planet when you flip over the expedition. And there's a new one, and it's worth 5 resources, which is amazing. And it's going to be out there kind of floating in the ether. So there are now these synergistic technologies where you have kind of, it's not just green, not just red, like they overlap, which is great because some factions end up with technology blocks where you're like, green is kind of cruddy, but you start with green, so you kind of want to go in that direction, but really now you have to go red, and now you're falling further behind, so you can't unlock your higher level stuff. This kind of helps manage that a little. It makes some of the factions a little bit better, like the Arborec. And I love me the idea of space plants, but it's just not a very good faction. They're making it better, which is good.
That's great.
So now we have synergy in the technology, which is cool. We have a bunch of new tiles going out, which is always great. Just different ways to interact with the galaxy. We have more stuff to throw out onto the board. And now we have the Fracture, which is an NPC faction that you can interact with when you kind of go out into this new space. So that's going to be just like a whole separate thing now. So you have like more pieces out on the board. As you go into the Fracture, you're dealing with these different things. I haven't really dug into like what all they are yet, but it's just one more thing out there. And I kind of love the idea too, when there is like a, NPC faction impacting everybody that everybody has to deal with. We see that in like Voidfall. We see it in Andromeda's Edge. It's just like a thing that's become part of space games recently.
Yes.
So it's cool to see TI4 kind of jump on that. We have new events, these galactic events that can change how the game is played. Mm-hmm. So you have things like the Stellar Atomics event, which gives everybody a one-time delete button that can wipe an entire planet clean of enemy forces.
Wow.
But then, after they do that, they can't vote in the agenda phase. You have Age of Commerce, which just kind of boosts everybody's money-making ability. Civilized Society gets rid of the sudden death. So you don't win the second you get the points. You're going to finish the round every time.
Oh, wow.
Which is very different. So there's 20 of these. You can mix and match them and just kind of decide how you want to play the game now, which is very cool. So you can be like, okay, we want a really militaristic game. Let's go heavy warfare. Everybody gets all the extra stuff. We're just going to punch each other constantly. Or let's make it pretty chill and do Age of Commerce and Civilized Society.
That's great.
So you can kind of change how you want to play. And it's not out there yet, but people are talking on Reddit right now, like which ones will make the game longer and which ones will make the game shorter.
Sure.
So I think that's cool too.
That's
you get the right combo, and you're like, now we can play in 3 hours. Which
that's a dream, man. That's a dream.
Hey, I played a game the other day. It was 5 people with the expansion, and we were done in a little under 4 hours.
To be fair, those people are like super Twilight experts.
Yeah, they were really good, and I couldn't keep up for the first round. I'm like, I don't know what we're doing.
Well, I mean, this sounds great, and that's always been Fantasy Flight's bread and butter is their expansions. They really do a good job with them.
Yeah, and this is one of the best base game all-in boxes they've ever released. It was so good because it took everything from TI3, all the expansions, kind of blended them all together and made the game streamlined. Mm-hmm. Prophecy of Kings added so much cool stuff, and now this looks to be like even more cool stuff. So we're getting more factions in here too. I think 5 or 6 of them. All the Codex stuff, which is like the print and play things they've released the last 4 years, that's going to be in here too. So people who don't print and play, which is most people. And then there's also a new way to play the game that they have not released any information about. So you can build your own custom faction.
Okay.
I don't know how that's going to work, but
I like it. I like the idea.
It's called Twilight's Fall, and they haven't released any information about it yet. So they're saying it's basically a new game all by itself. I'm like, well, okay, well, we'll see what that is. But yeah, I'm excited. It's a lot of stuff that I will put on the shelf and get to in a couple years. But most of it seems like it'll make the game better or more interesting. Thunder's Edge seems like a little gimmicky, but everything else looks really cool. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
So this is pricey, right?
Oh yeah, it's crazy expensive. $130.
Why isn't this not TI5?
Because it's just an expansion's worth of stuff. I don't know.
Well, you could repackage it with the game, like they did, like you said, the other ones. Because
yeah, I mean TI5, if they ever did that, would be like $250, $300 probably.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's just the amount of plastic that is there now. Because now we have 9 bags of plastic. You have 30 factions. You have all the stuff that goes with all those factions. Like,
come on, Ian, you know you want to play it, man.
I am interested in Twilight Imperium. I just have never found 3 other people who are willing to waste an entire day with me.
Ian, there's this great app that will tell you where games are being played in your area. And you could sign up for that, or you could post the game, and you could find that in your area, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's a thing.
Give it a try.
I generally shy away from games that take all day, because if it starts to go bad, it's just, you don't want to be stuck there. I've yet to have a bad game of TI4, because it's always interesting, whatever happens. Even if 3 of the 6 people play poorly, it's still interesting. Now, that said, you could get stuck with a group of people you don't like, and that probably wouldn't be very fun. But
it's definitely, if you've never played it, it's definitely something to put on your bucket list, because it is a unique experience of tabletop gaming.
It is very good, and I love that this expansion is making it so people can play it the way they want. Because I've run into people before, like, I don't want to play that, it's too much combat, I don't want to get in people's face, and I'm like, I get it, but now you don't have to.
So this, Anthony, is the Fenris expansion for Scythe that they're doing here.
Sure.
Well, I mean, at least some of the elements that it can make it shorter, longer. It changes the end conditions. It can make it more of Euro-ish versus more military, thrashy kind of thing. So I applaud them for doing that. I think that's great, because I love the Fenris expansion for Scythe. It just absolutely changes the game. I will never play without it. So
yeah, you kind of have a spectrum now from like Ameritrash to Euro here, and you can kind of choose where you want to be on that. Whereas the game before was like dead in the middle, now you can kind of tilt it back and forth.
Yeah, and people have a general idea of what to expect when they're coming into the game, or that specific version of the game.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. Well, I'm excited for it. I'll drag it with me to PAX and set it up, and everybody will be like, "No, thank you."
So they're going to release this in October?
October 24th?
Is this? So they're not releasing at the Essen, and they're not releasing at PAX?
No. So
they're just randomly releasing it
on
a random day?
I don't know how they run this company anymore, man. It's what they do.
We got to go to Minnesota and straighten these people out.
Yeah.
There are conventions for a reason. You release cool games at conventions so that we don't have to drag gigantic games with us to conventions.
Right? Yeah. I mean, they'll have it at PAX, I'm sure, but yeah, they're not releasing it there.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our roll for preview. Now on to our roll for review. Ian, you have something for us that you got a chance to play at Gen Con.
Yeah, I got to play a little bit of Kingdom Death Monster. So this game's been out for about 10 years, but it's my first time playing the game. For those who don't know, it's a cooperative board game that combines elements of RPGs, civilization building, and survival horror. Things I really liked about the game is I liked the mechanics of the game. I also liked the themes. It was very dark and gruesome, but kind of a unique way, something I really I think I was drawn to. But I think the best aspect of the game, and we talked about this before we started today, is the miniatures of this game just drew me towards them when I was walking by. It's the first thing I noticed. They had their booth set up where they were selling all the miniatures right next to the game player, and I was like, ooh, what are those? So I got to play through a couple rounds. I ended up dying, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
But wasn't the end of the world, because this is another aspect that I think I like about it, is it's a challenging game. Being a long-time gamer, I think some games, over time become kind of easy in mechanics too. So you want to be challenged. You want to find something new. Those are all the aspects I liked about it.
So this game, again, is such a unique specialty game that came out so many years ago that still like owns a huge section of any conference because, like you mentioned, the elder gods, monsters, and things which are just out there, like beautiful artwork there. But what kind of game would you describe it as? Is it a civilization game? Is it a campaign game? Is it a hack and slash? Is it a dungeon crawl? Is it a Euro
This
game?
is what's so unique about it is it's halfway between an RPG feel and a board game. Yeah. And so you have these 4 phases, or I think 3 phases, I believe. You start with hunting, and that's when you're hunting the monster. And then there's the showdown phase where you actually have the battle with the monster. So that's what we were able to do there. And then there's a settlement phase where you kind of bring things back from the monster and use it to kind of produce the next generation of warriors that go out to another hunt and fight the next thing. So it's kind of unique. You have the civilization building phase, but then the showdown phase very much felt like a D&D battle or another TTRPG like that. So it's kind of like it straddles a couple different worlds, which I think gets on a couple of my different addictions there, which might have been the reason I was drawn to it.
Yeah, it's got a lot of unique elements, and I've seen this a bunch of times, and I've always wanted to play it, but I know it's one of those games that is so unique and so specialized and so expensive with the miniatures that it is like, this will be my life now. Like, I'm a Kingdom Death Monster guy. Like, that's my thing. That's Kingdom Death Monster tattoos, Kingdom Death Monster toys. Start naming my kids after Kingdom Death Monsters because it's just that's who I am. That's my brand now.
I mean, so if I were to flag a couple weaknesses here, first one, something I called out immediately. I'm like, oh man, this looks like an expensive game to try to play here. Before I even played the first game, I'm like, oh man, this could be bad. And next, I think the mature content is going to be a little bit much for people. So, I mean, obviously, it's not a game you're going to play with kids, but it's also not a game I'd play with my wife.
Right.
So, I think those are the 2 biggest drawbacks that I found. I'm sure there's more. I only got to play for like 45 minutes. Sure. But definitely a game I wanted to flag to people who might be into some of the darker horror. Or people who, find themselves drawn to different types of games. They're into miniatures, but they're into role-playing games, and, they're into board games. They're looking for something that kind of, sits in all worlds. This game might be a game for you.
Excellent.
And if you have you're independently wealthy, you have an inheritance, this game might also be for you.
I just can't, this is legit. We make jokes about the lifestyle games all the time, but this one is, I have a copy of the base game. I got it used, and it was still very expensive, and I can't imagine buying just like the monthly releases of new stuff and keeping up with it. It's so much. I mean, we joke about CCGs, which are still more expensive than anything else we talk about, but still, it's so much.
I think the reason why it has survived to this point, because as you were saying, Ian, like it's got a finger on all of the different things. It's a tabletop game, hack and slash monster, dungeon delve. But it's a civilization game. It's also an RPG game. And it also has the Cthulhu elements to it as well. And the artwork is outstanding. Like you said, it's dark horror kind of stuff. It's also gorgeous. It's beautiful. It hits a lot of the special points. But as you said, Anthony, like, it would certainly have to be a game where, like, that would have to be your game. Because you would also have to be able to develop a group for it, too. That's not necessarily a game you want to play alone, especially since the monsters are so scary.
Right.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you go to any convention, you definitely want to check out their booth because it's unlike anything you've ever seen. I would say across all of the miniature games we've ever played, and it's always a game. Like I will never own it, and I probably will never be able to play it, but I will always regret it because I think it seems like to have such a unique experience to it. So, but Ian, if you were super independently wealthy, would this actually be a game that you would buy, or would it be a play for you? Would you dodge it because of reasons like you talked about? I mean, you got killed, so obviously that's a reason to dodge it. Or would you actually burn the game because clearly it's the Cthulhu knockoff that really does not deserve to be there?
If money wasn't a point, this is definitely the type of game I would buy, and I would try to get my friends to play. To a lot of your other points, it might end up just sitting on the shelf in my basement. but it wouldn't be the first game. It wouldn't be the last game that, I bought with, grand ideas that I would get a lot of people to play that game with me and found, not as big an audience for. But it's something that I would like to try more for sure.
Yeah.
They did mention when I was there, and I haven't looked into it yet, that they have a virtual client. I do prefer my board games in person,
Yes.
and the social aspect of it for sure. But it's something that maybe to feel out a little bit more. Trying out the virtual client is a cheap way to do that.
Excellent. All right. Well, now on to a voice for the gamers, and this week, Ian, you're the voice of the gamers here. You went to Gen Con 2025. Again, did not invite us, but nonetheless, you're still here on the podcast, so it's fine. I don't care. It's fine. But you went and you had fun and you played games, and we would love for you to share with our audience your experience of all the different games, the hotness out there that you got a chance to play, so that everyone knows what they should take a look at, maybe pick up in the future.
Yeah, so in addition to playing Kingdom Death, I got to play a few other games while I was there. Kind of bouncing around again between board games and TTRPGs, some different things. One is recently my group and we had tried Marvel Heroic for a while, but I saw they were doing some demos of the Marvel multiverse role-playing game. So I was able to get in on one of those. Great game. I'd say it's a little bit more probably familiar for people that are familiar with D&D, where the Marvel Heroic role-playing game is a game, how do I describe it mechanically? You build doom pools that kind of ratchets up as you're playing,
Sure.
and it's very role-playing heavy. And it's really kind of more of a story-based game. When the Marvel multiverse game, it feels much more like D&D when you have attributes. So you have 6 attributes, and you have different scores in those. It is a D6 based game, so that's a little bit different. But overall, anyone who I think is a big fan of the Marvel fandom there, and also a fan of D&D, this might be a good game for them. Some other things I was trying to do when I was there. So my wife, she is a big fan of nature games. Wingspan was her gateway game, although I'm kind of in the camp of Wingspan might be a little bit complicated as a gateway game for a lot of people, but I think being that she was so drawn to the birds and the nature aspect of it, it was a good fit for her. So I was looking for some games that kind of also had that nature feel to them.
Sure.
I ended up getting a copy of Botany.
Oh, nice. That
Although,
looks really pretty. I like that. I like the kind of like classic Victorian look on that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool.
Yep, great artwork and all that. Really well built game. We haven't had a chance to play it yet since I got home. But that was one. Couple other games that I picked up some kids games while I was there for my toddler. Trying to get her into games.
Did you pick up the Otter game? That's the only thing that really matters. Did you get the Otters?
No, we got Number Dinosaur.
Okay.
And we got another one as well by Haba, I think it is, or Haba.
Yeah, Haba.
Yep. So that was great. I'm looking through my notes of the games that I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here.
I really love Haba. Those little bright yellow little boxes. It like brings me back to childhood.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of great games. So I was trying to get my hands on a copy of Sanibel, which is made by Elizabeth Hargrave, which is obviously the creator of Wingspan.
Yes.
Because that was unveiled there, and unfortunately I wasn't able to. I was there for the Saturday and Sunday, and there was no copies left. But I did talk to some people who got some copies or got to demo it, and essentially it's a pattern building tile laying game, and it's also nature focused. I believe it's based on like shells, and that's something I'm definitely gonna be trying to get a copy of here soon. The other game that I didn't get the demo, but I did get to see some people play was the Lord of the Rings Fate of the Fellowship game. And this is definitely one I want to try out. For people who've played Pandemic, it's very similar to Pandemic. So it's a cooperative, board game. You've got action points, and there's a lot of hand management. along with it. But if you're also a fan of Lord of the Rings and you'll buy most things that are, a base game but Lord of the Rings themed, that this might be a good one for you as well.
Excellent. Yeah, no, I wanted to see that in person. That seems like a really fun game to get to the table.
Yeah, it's been on Board Game Arena for a while now, but it looks so flat and uninteresting. Like, I'm sure mechanically it's the same. It's the digital version, but I want to see the physical.
It's weird how like the games are getting more and more overproduced, and unfortunately the digital versions can't keep up with that.
No.
Like, it's gorgeous, it's amazing, the miniatures are beautiful, the meeples are excellent, and then like, it's 2D now, so fine.
It's all flat. Yeah, miniature games don't really pop on a Board Game Arena.
No. Yeah, the old Euro games do, but the new Euro games are too flashy now these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, this had some really great miniatures. I definitely have in the past, and I will again in the future, steal miniatures occasionally from my board games for my D&D games when you need like a nice troll or a Gandalf. It's there waiting for you.
Very nice. Very, very cool. Did you get to see the, what was it, the Lord of the Rings confrontation table? The super special deluxe version table?
Oh, no, I don't.
Oh, that was on a Kickstarter or crowdfunding. What was that? GameFound?
GameFound. It was GameFound.
Yeah, that was a $3,000 table with Lord of the Rings kind of glued to the top of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not see that.
So this was your first Gen Con, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What did you think?
It was
as a entry level game convention kind of situation.
Yeah, and I've been to some other gaming conventions, so it was my first time. Gen Con was larger. Like, I knew it was the biggest in the country, but it was larger than I could have imagined. Broke another attendance record. I think it had like 72,000 attendees. It's massive, split there between the convention center and Lucas Oil Stadium across the street.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is fantastic. They really needed this space and they spread out. But I think going into it, I wasn't prepared for what I was getting into, and in the future I might do things a little bit differently. For example, I might do a better job of planning out my events ahead of time. It'd be great if I had an app to do all that on, because they don't have an official app there. Just a little plug. But yeah, I might have done a better job of planning things out ahead of time, and I might have also just not on day one walked in with, I had like a big reusable grocery bag full of a couple board games. I'm like, I'll find someone to play these with, no problem. And then I ended up lugging them around for the day. And then on top of that, I bought new board games that I was around with those. I looked like I was going to the grocery store carrying all these bags of board games around with me. Yeah, I mean, I ended up doing it solo. I did end up running into some people I knew, who I knew were going, and I stopped by and met up with them at their booth. I also ran into some people who I knew who I didn't know were going, which is crazy in a crowd of 70,000 plus people. Overall, it's something I'd like to do again, but I'm also, I haven't been to PAX Unplugged yet, and I know that's coming up this year. That's another one I'm looking at attending, and I've heard, good things about that as well.
You should absolutely attend that one. We will be there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a very different vibe than any of the other conventions. I mean, PAX really puts together a very solid type kind of presentation that's very different than Gen Con. Gen Con's the spectacle of it all. It's big, it's brash, it's fun, but it's loud. Yeah. PAX is kind of streamlined, hip, sleek kind of thing. So definitely different vibes on the conventions.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun throughout.
And I will say, kind of a high point for me there, even though it was technically separate from Gen Con, was Critical Role, which I've been a big fan of ever since I got into D&D. Had 10th anniversary special just outside of Indianapolis, about 25-minute drive away. So getting to go to, this arena out there and, watch them kind of do a reprisal of their characters from Campaign 3, but they had ported everyone from D&D into their system, Dragonheart, which I've been really wanting to play here, so hopefully I'll get a chance to play that soon. Was fantastic, and the energy in that arena, amazing. It was like a rock concert for a bunch of people rolling dice, and
So
I just
crazy.
felt so at home. Felt so at home. It was amazing.
That's such a crazy thing. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I remember when Dimension 20 played Madison Square Garden. I'm like, how did we get to this point? How are we here?
I don't know how we got here. I'm so happy we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when so that it was at this event that they announced that, hey, we got some updates on campaign 4, and here's a little, teaser, and people were going crazy, and they said, oh, and by the way, here's an announcement, and Matt's like, I'm not going to be the DM, and everyone's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
and they're like, Matt Mercer, the famous DM
Yeah.
here, probably the most famous DM. And he goes, but we do have the DM here. Would you like to meet them? And out steps Brendan Lee Mulligan,
Yeah.
or Brendan Lee Mulligan there, who is the second most famous, and literally people lost their minds. And that was a really awesome moment. So happy I got to attend that.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's gonna be really interesting to see. It's, if nothing else, it'll be interesting to see Mercer get to be a player character for the first time.
Yeah. Well, we got to see a little bit of it in some of the what they call the Exandria Unlimited there. We're kind of in between the campaigns with Bria. But it'll be nice to see him step into the role for a whole campaign and see what he can do there. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
All right. Well, Ian, thank you so much for joining us here this week. Where can people find you if they don't want to just jump to the show links? Where can they find you out on the social medias and the websites?
Yeah, so you can check out our website, theadventurenexus.com. We do have an app.theadventurenexus.com. Now, we are geographically limited in our beta at the moment between the Buffalo and Syracuse, New York areas, upstate New York. That's where you'll see the majority of the gaming conventions and game shops. However, anyone who'd like to get in a little bit early, you can use the code 13001 when you are signing up for your zip code there, because it's going to ask your zip code. And if you use 13001, you'll be able to get into the app today and look around. You can start to create online events if you'd like, or I guess even in-person events. But just note, you probably won't see a game shop down the street for you for a little bit. We got some growing to do. But, eventually we hope to be everywhere. And, you'll be able to find gaming conventions and game shops and games to play with other people just on the street.
Yeah, not to mention game conferences, Board Game Academics in Rochester, New York on October 4th and 5th, which we want everyone to come. They'll be able to use Ian's app to find all the demo games that'll be played there. And if people would like to jump in on those demo games, they can go ahead and sign up there and pick which games they want to play. And once they sign up for the conference, they'll have a spot saved for them. All right, everybody. So until next time, this is Chris.
This is Anthony.
This is Ian.
And we'll save you all a seat at the table. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Hey there, I'm Hugh from Moderation. If you like today's episode, why not check out The Next Session, your D&D agony aunts there to answer all of your questions. Join Adam and Alyssa as they answer questions sent in by listeners like you about how to solve the problems that come with running and playing in all sorts of different tabletop scenarios. Available wherever you get your podcast.